Hello everyone,
Hey guys.
and welcome to today's video where we have the same coloring page. Ben is going to do this one and I'm going to do this one, and we're going to color them in and see what they look like and use different art supplies and just see what we do differently and the same. And you can color along too if you want to in my coloring book, Just Add Sparkles. It's available on Amazon.com and it's got 50 coloring pages. Today we're going to be coloring the lava lamp, which is also the front cover, and I cannot wait to see what we do. So before we begin, be sure to like and subscribe and let's get started.
In today's video, I'm going to be using Prismacolor colored pencils.
And I'm going to be using the trusted and faithful Ohuhu markers. You probably could have guessed that's what I'm going to use. And I was still struggling to pick out my colors by the time Ben already started coloring with his colored pencils.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because the colors I picked to start are actually not the colors I want to stand out, but the colors I'm trying to fill it with so that when I do put red in, it stands out. I don't know if I accomplished that in the end or not, but that's what I'm working on. The lava, the greens, making it stand out.
That's awesome. I decided to start with the base because I knew that I wanted it to be gold, kind of like the front cover, but I had no idea how to do that with Ohuhu markers because I'd never tried to make a gold reflective before. So that was a new thing for me too, but...
Yeah, well, I think it paid out. I think you can definitely see the gold metallic feel of it, and that it really shines through in a pretty cool way. I struggled with that personally with my shading on the metallic part.
I thought you did really good with it.
Well, thanks. We'll see, I guess. But anyways, this is looking really good. I love the contrast. Something I've noticed about gold or silver is it needs a lot of contrast.
So switching topics a little bit, this picture you actually chose to color in. So why did you choose to color in this lava lamp picture together?
Yeah, I was looking through the coloring book and there's a lot of great choices, and so I had more than one pick that I could have gone with. But this one I remember we both seemed to vibe with, and I know you did it on your front cover. I felt like there was a good chance that we would do things differently, and I felt like there was even a story here. This feels like it's a part of some kind of sci-fi or fantasy world. This is a magical object.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can take it. I immediately, I went back in my head to, art I used to make when I was younger. And I used to do, a lot of fun, space things, neon colors and, kind of crazy, which is, pretty different from what I do now. But I felt like this would be fun to try and, experiment in that realm with.
Yeah, absolutely. I even the painting or the picture is full, but there was this opportunity. There's some blank space if you want to add things. And so... when I first started, my plan was to put these little astronauts in between the lava spaces.
I was gonna say that I was surprised that you didn't put people in there because I thought you were gonna put somebody on a planet or something.
Yeah, we just started going and true to the lava lamp fashion, it just felt too groovy to do anything different with. So I just left them out.
Honestly, though, groovy was a good word to describe it. That was definitely in my head. I was trying to pick the most bright neon colors that I could think of. So I decided to go in with this really bright pink.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, and you do a great job of using powerful colors to your advantage. I grew up watching a lot of Pokemon. I guess I never really grew out of watching Pokemon, but they have so many bright, vibrant colors that especially as a kid, that's all I really did. And I've learned how to not do that, and so now I'm always scared to do it because I don't feel like I can do it without drawing
No,
six.
You could definitely do it, but it did, it was so interesting to me because I had already, known that I wanted to do pink for the inside, but it was really interesting to see, we were going, it felt like opposite directions. You had blue and, cool colors, and then you look over and mine's, bright pink, and, yeah.
I think that the different mediums created different degrees of saturation for us, almost, but in terms of actual color palettes, so, pinks to blues, do you think, we evened out in the end?
I think that we both used a lot of different colors. Something, though, that, I really liked about yours is I felt like you experimented more with more colors. Something I noticed at the end was, yours actually looked like it was glowing, and I really like that you branched out to try and make that effect happen. I just feel like I colored in the lines and then just stuck with a solid color in every single, line space and didn't really do anything cool like that. But I do think they evened out, color-wise, but I think they look different in a lot of ways, too.
Do you know how in animes they'll have lines of shading that are clear and bold when they end and start?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's more of the feel you accomplish. So I do feel like there's a glow in yours, but like the lines are more almost pop art-y or like comic art-y.
Yeah, it was definitely a different style, but it was really cool to see it. I was actually like really, really impressed with yours and like what you were able to do with it. So
That's really sweet. I think if I had one critique of mine, it would be that it could look a little sickly, if you wanted
sickly?
to say that. Yeah.
No.
Just because none of the colors are that vibrant.
I think it's just though in contrast with the style, like with the Ohuhu markers right next to
interesting.
it. Like I think later when you kind of get your spotlight moment, you can just see yours for a second. Like without the comparison of like the bold, bright colors, yours doesn't look sickly.
I've never thought about that. Okay, so really interesting test. If we put our hand over the right side of our phone when both of these are on screen, does mine still look sickly? Let me know in the comments.
That's such a bad way to describe it. It looks amazing, but I just also like I tried to do a new color palette, but somehow pretty much reverted back to the same color palette that I always do. I was like, oh, I'm gonna experiment and do these like bright fun colors, but then I just did pink and blue, and like that's pretty much. The planets were a stretch for me because I did green and yellow and orange, but like it was pretty much the same color palettes I always do.
Well, I don't think it ever comes across as monotonous. I just think you have your style. Like you've done this enough times to know what you like and how things are going to turn out. I'm still experimenting a little bit. So for me, there were moments where I was like, I tried something and I didn't really like it, but I was able to just like, okay, we're going to incorporate this.
It also was really cool though to see like that we were kind of on the same page, I feel like the whole time. Like at first I was like, oh no, like worried that you were going to take way longer just because of like colored pencils and blending and everything. But then like we were kind of working on the same things at similar times. So that was cool. Like you started working on your stars and filling them in a really cool way. And then I just like gel penned everything on mine because, you know, sparkles.
I love that. I kind of want to speak to the shading here for a minute, if that's all right. I was trying to make the, what would you call that? The metallic piece, the actual stand of the lava lamp look white, but it still needed shading. And so I learned a long time ago not to use just black and white to shade, but blue and like yellow. And so that's what I was trying to do here. I wonder how it turned out. Do you have a take on that?
I think it turned out really well. I was actually really impressed, like, too. And I felt like you did a lot of blending, too. Like, later, I noticed, like, towards the end, you even went in with some gray, I think, to, like, kind of soften all of your transitions out. I was really impressed. I think you did a really good job.
Thanks. I really love your shading here on your ribbon. Like, that, for me, the transition is really cool.
Thanks. Little ombre.
Yeah.
Little ombre, pink, blue, and purple.
Yeah. Can you talk to me about why you made your planets the colors you did?
I wanted them to stand out, and I also wanted to incorporate some more of that like funkiness. Like typically I would have kept everything like really soft and like pinks and blues or purples. Like those are just like the colors that I typically like gravitate towards. So like I would have picked like a teal or something, but I decided to try and do more bold colors and do like a green, a yellow. I wanted them to pop out and be kind of like funky.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think if you had made like, especially that green planet stands out in my mind. If you had made that pink, I think you would have lost a little bit of it and the lava behind it. So I think it paid off.
I think I definitely would have lost it, but I still am like, is it the right color? I'm like, it should have been purple.
That's so fun. I'm pretty happy with the colors I chose for mine as well. Again, like, I think I might want them more vibrant. I can't tell. If it's too harsh, then it wouldn't really fit my vibe. But I really feel good about the way I shaded them specifically. So I went in with a blue as an undertone for them and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I did end up finishing first, but not by much.
That is true. Colored pencils, definitely. I remember saying this to Carol, and I have more experience doing digital art, and you can't change the nub size on any of these things.
Yeah, but here they are side by side. I like the sparkles on my stars. That just caught my eye, but here's yours.
Definitely. I feel pretty good about it overall in the end. Not too sickly when it's just me standing there.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. I think colored pencils are just like a totally different thing. And yeah, by itself, it's like the perfect saturation. And I think it looks really good and really whimsical and pretty.
Thanks, that's really sweet.
And then here's mine, which is definitely more pop art. I feel like yours is like super sci-fi and like you can feel more of that story. And then I feel like mine is more just like, hey, I use pretty colors, which like that's okay, but
no, I love it. Usually, like they say in fantasies, you want to use like these really bold contrasts and like, yeah, make it saturated, make it deep. So I love that.
Yeah, I just think they look so cool. And I think it's so cool side by side to see how similar, but also still how different they are, even though it's the exact same picture. So if you guys want to color along too, we'd love to see your take on what you would do with this lava lamp. You can shop this coloring book again on Amazon.com. Just add Sparkles by Anchored Art Designs. And this was super fun to color. Did you have fun coloring it?
Oh, it was a blast. I sometimes get stressed out coloring things, but this time I was able just to enjoy myself. So thanks for for setting us up.
And thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.